Hello and thanks for stopping by. This is Jackie Chan's Stuntmaster for the Sony PlayStation, published by Midway Home Entertainment in 2000. This game came out at a time when Jackie Chan movies were making their way to the States, and they were doing pretty well. We're talking the first wave of Jackie Chan movies to really hit US theaters stateside. You could probably have imported the movies before that, because he'd been in movies for, 20 years at that point. But these were English movies recorded that way, and they were really high quality, and they were distributed in theaters. Now, I won't suggest that these were Oscar-worthy dramas we're talking about here. They were just basically loose stories that were kind of just an excuse for Jackie Chan to do his crazy fighting and different stunts on camera. And they were great. We started with Rumble in the Bronx, Operation Condor, Armor of God, First Strike. There were a whole bunch of these movies, and I would venture to the theater with my friends for every single one of them. We loved them. And then they developed this game off of him, basically, and they used his name as a pivot. There are plenty of Jackie Chan voice clips in this one as the game progresses, although what he says doesn't always match what's happening on screen. The same is for the villains that talk in this one as well. They might say something like, "Oh, I give up," but they're doing nothing of the sort in front of you. I suppose the basic story here is what you would expect from a Jackie Chan movie. Jackie is just a nice guy and a fighter. He's basically an ideal nice guy hero. You play a cartoony Jackie, and it's basically a beat-em-up game where you run around beating the crap out of people, trying to rescue your grandfather. I guess it's as simple as that. Occasionally there are different styled levels. The standard level is a run and fight, usually left to right, where you stay to the back of the screen. So it's a three-dimensional, right? But if you come to the front of the screen, there's going to be nothing there. Every now and again there's a different sort of level style. Usually it's you running in a different direction, probably towards the screen or away from the screen. You might be being chased by a car, and you're going to need to stay in front of the car and dodge boxes and try to not get run over. Or maybe you're going to be on top of the truck, and the truck is driving away, and you'll have to dodge road signs and know when to jump off to get to another part of the level. There are some decent things about this game that I like. First, there are distinct levels, and you can save your progress between levels. I think that's wonderful because it gives you the ability to put the game down and come back later. You're also going to collect various items as you go, and they're pretty much all around. You can pick up a carton of rice, takeout food, milk, wholesome stuff basically that replenishes your health. They're not stingy with them in this game. Sometimes they're out in the open, sometimes you have to climb to them, and sometimes you just have to break a box to get one. You can also grab red dragon icons that are scattered throughout the levels. If you get 10 red dragons, you're going to earn a gold dragon. If you gather enough gold dragons, you start to unlock fun stuff in the game. A different costume, a Shaolin temple level, and there's also a Jackie Chan movie on the making of this game. So this is a PlayStation game from the, late 90s, early 2000 really. So we have blocky models with really primitive skin overlays. You'll see this right up close at the beginning of the game, and you're going to get your first close-up picture of Jackie Chan's face. Yeah, it sort of looks like Jackie Chan, but I wouldn't say exactly. I mean, it's fine for the technology of the era, and the game works decently enough. This is really one of those games where your characters don't have fingers either. Everyone has these big mittens as hands at the end of their arms. This is a fighting game, so that's not a problem really. It's just interesting to me to see hands without any fingers. It wasn't something I really noticed before when I originally got the game 20 years ago, but now it really stands out. You also get style points in this game when you get to the end of a level. You have your basic punches and kicks, but you also have jump, block, grab, and you can run up walls and do a backflip. The more you mix up your attacks, the more style points you can accrue. This makes sense if you've seen a Jackie Chan movie. He does a whole bunch of different stuff. It's always new and interesting. So overall, it does sort of feel a bit like a Jackie Chan movie, especially one from that time frame. Lots of punches, lots of people to punch, and also you get to use odd items and levels to attack people with. You run into this in the first or second level. I entered a building and a guy came after me with the paint roller. You basically knock it out of his hands, pick up the paint roller, and you start beating people with it. It makes the fighting different, and it's fun. You can pick up cooking pots, 2x4 boards, and there's a giant frozen fish on one level. You're going to run into bosses every now and then, and like most bosses, you really need to figure out how the mechanics work for that particular spot in order to succeed. Button mashing is not going to get you to beat any boss quicker, but paying attention to your distance and how the bosses are attacking will give you clues on how to defend, or dodge even. Basic boss stuff, I guess. This isn't one of those games that you're going to play for a story. You really don't care about that for this game. You just play to beat people up and see where the levels take you. It's not a very complex game, it's just levels of similar fighting, but it's decent enough. I'm a Jackie Chan fan, so running around as Jackie and beating up people is okay by me. It's an arcade-style game and maybe a little monotonous at times, but although it's simple gameplay, basically, there are plenty of health items to pick up, and overall I have to say this one is okay. Well, that's all I have for Jackie Chan Stuntmaster for the PlayStation. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next video.